Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Talk Comics to Me time. I'm Champenstein,
I'm Heather.
and we're here to talk about comic books. It's gonna be like real quick because it was a fifth Wednesday, so there's nothing out, which was like I don't know, kind of nice, but kind of a bummer too, because I wish there was. These are all good books, but I
hmm
wish there had been.
It was just nice and easy, no stress.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. You go ahead. I am so sorry.
I'm gonna go first. Okay, I have the Locust, if you will. The Ballad
Not
of
the
Men.
not the locust.
I know, it's just Locust. Ballad of Men, this is issue number 4. This is the last book in this Locust series. It's just follows the main character uh, Max, who's going around trying to save the little girl. Her name is Stella. I figured it out. She had been taken by the weird post-apocalyptic cult that was feeding or like sacrificing children to locusts to spread the locusts even more. Um, this issue really bummed me out. It was very
Hmm.
sad. I thought it was a good way to like complete the story and stuff because you know me, I love stories that do not have happy endings, and this one did not have a happy ending. He
Okay.
does end up saving her, but she is infected. So he literally just like takes her to the place that they had talked about to stay safe, and then he dies with her essentially.
Hmm. Okay.
It's the way that it in like the narration in this is really really good too, because at one point she's like, I wish you were my dad for real, and he says, well, um how about I be your dad for real and you don't leave me here alone.
Oh.
Yeah, it was very very sad. It was really good though. I'm glad I did pick this up. I almost didn't continue this with the second story arc just because
Hmm.
the first one was, it wasn't hard to follow at all. It was like a nice and easy book, I guess, considering the content, but I just didn't necessarily care about it until it got to this part of the story. So it was good. I liked it. I don't know who I would recommend it to, honestly,
Okay.
just because it's a harder book to read because it's very violent. There's a lot of like brutal kid death and stuff in it. A lot of it you don't like see, but you know that that's what is going on in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, not having a dad myself, I was kind of jealous the whole time.
Understandable. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
But yeah, that was it. That was Locust. So I'm gonna move on to my next book.
Okay.
This is Flawed. This is issue number 3. This issue just follows the bad guy that's trying to kill the main character. You get a little bit of her background and how she became an assassin, pretty much.
Okay.
So yeah, it was really cool. I like the art a whole lot in this book. There was one page that hold on, let me find it. It's really cool because it like shows her when she first met the guy who taught her how to be an assassin, and then that's her in present day.
Okay. Yeah, I like
I
that.
just The art's really really good in this book, and the story itself is really cool too. Because if you don't remember, the main character is like a vigilante, and she goes around like killing people, obviously. But there's this one guy that she kills in the first issue, or kills, that they're trying to like figure out how exactly it happened because he has so many connections to like city officials and stuff. It's a conspiracy.
Okay. Yeah.
So all that's happening, and then there's the police who are investigating this, like how it had happened, and he's doing it in secret because he's connecting all the pieces and realizing who all is involved, and he doesn't want to do
Yeah.
anything that will get him killed. So it's really good. I think there's only going to be 4 issues.
That sounds right. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure I remember it being pretty short.
But it's also one of those where like they could easily spin off and do a bunch of like other stories too, because there's so much like content in here.
Hmm.
So it would be cool if they did, but it's not necessary.
Yeah, I wish I had stayed on that book. I just had so many books.
Yeah. That was one that I was surprised I had just added it. I
Hmm.
didn't even think about it. I meant to just like there with this current previews, I did a lot of like special ordering first issues and that was it. And I thought that's what I had done with that one, but guess not.
Sometimes you forget what you do though.
Yeah, always.
Especially when it's like 3 months in advance like that. You're just like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's hard. That's what happened with Briar too. I thought I added it and I only special ordered it. So I did get it though.
Okay.
So
Cool,
yeah, I
cool.
have it in my little pile.
Cool beans.
Okay, talk about your book.
Okay, so first I have the approach. This is issue number 2. This is a sorry, I don't know. This light's a little too bright. My
Turn it
bad.
that way a little other way. Yeah, right there. Right there. Perfect.
Can you all
Turn it
see?
more. Turn it more.
I mean, if you're listening to this, you can't see anyway. Anyway, this is the approach. This is issue number 2. This is a little story about some people that are trapped in a small airfield during a whiteout, like so just like a winter storm, and plane crashes. At the end of the first issue, you have a reveal that it is some weird creature that has taken over this plane from a long time ago. Has really like, I don't know, that first issue when I like kind of thought about it, kind of had like Twilight Zone vibes.
I thought you were just gonna say Twilight.
It had Twilight vibes.
Twilight vibes.
No, Twilight Zone vibes. But I don't really have have a lot to say about this book. I really like the art a lot. The story is lacking something for me. I'm not sure what that is, but I know it is a short little series, so I'm just gonna give it its issues and see how I feel by the end.
That's fair. And we like Jeremy Hahn, you know.
Yeah, no, it's like that's why I'm like, I just want to read it. I just want to see. It's like it's not bad, but it's just not something that like really like engages me and makes me feel like I don't know. I don't
It's
know.
not for you.
Yeah, it's not for me. It
Yes.
looks great though.
Yeah. And the idea is really cool too, you
Yeah,
know.
and like I said, it like the first issue like definitely has those like when you really kind of break it down and think about it, you're like, oh, cool. It's like weird and strange and yeah,
That's fair. I mean, you're not gonna like everything that you read.
that's 100% true, I guess, when you could stop reading it, but we've made choices here.
You could if you
Hmm.
really wanted to.
Hmm. Let's
You
move
ready?
on. Yeah. This is Sartorial Geek.
Mm.
This is issue number 3. This is a little, I guess, nerd magazine.
Mm-hmm.
It has different like I don't even know. I don't even
Yeah,
know what's
it's
happening.
I think the reason I like this so much is because it is kind of chaotic. Like I know that sounds like weird when you're talking about like a does this come out every month? I feel like it's every other month.
I mean, this one says fall, so maybe it's like
So like every 3 or 4
quarterly.
months. Okay, that makes sense. But I mean, they do have like an overall theme of what they're doing. And maybe it's because like some of this the stuff that they choose to put in there, I am not familiar with, so I don't understand like how it
It fits.
yeah, how it
Yeah.
fits with the theme. But in this one, the main article is about our flag means death and the relationship between the two pirates in there. But then they always have like a little section about like fashion icons and stuff like that. And then they have like a little article that's usually at the end, which I don't understand this one. It says getting more than I bargained for in around the world in 80 days. Oh, so she just it's a review of the show. Okay, that makes sense. I was like the movie, the Jackie Chan movie from like the 90s.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought too. We're just too old, dude.
Oh my god. Okay. Love that for us. But
That
yeah,
would have been sick though. I probably would have been like, huh, sure.
I know. I would have made Brayden read it.
I forgot that movie existed until you just like brought it up from the depths of my memory.
Well, when I told you, like, I didn't actually like read a lot of it. Like, I flipped through it, skimmed some of it, and just kind of got an idea of like what this issue was about. And so I didn't like read into the actual review that she has in the back here about Around the World in 80 Days. I just saw that and was like, that's like a weird thing to review after so many years, but whatever. Who am I to judge, you know? Like,
Sometimes I feel like, it's vintage now, right?
it's yes.
Why wouldn't you review this vintage Around the World in 80 Days movie?
Well, now we know what we're doing for our zine.
It's like, we should watch Journey to the Center of the Earth with Brendan Fraser, right? Or is that Keanu Reeves? I can't remember which one of
I,
them it
you
is.
know, I'm not very good at that kind of stuff. Hold on.
My brain just melded it all together. I was like, I'm gonna make this joke, and then I didn't really think it out because I don't have the information.
Because in my head, I was like, The Rock.
It
It's
could be
Brendan.
The Rock too.
It's Brendan. But what is okay? Why am I
My
thinking
joke
The Rock?
worked.
Okay, no, I was thinking of Journey to the Center of the Earth #2. That's The Rock. Who are we?
I don't know. I really truly don't know.
And that Around the World in 80 Days movie came out in 2004. Okay. Anyway,
Almost 20 years ago now.
yeah, that's vintage. But
That's
anyway,
vintage,
okay.
baby.
That's the name of our zine. Sartorial Geek. And this is just a cute little nerdy magazine. They do actually have a podcast too, and I've never listened to it myself, but it says tune in weekly to hear discussions on all things pop culture, girl power, and community. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, give it a try. I always like the letter to the from the editors like at the beginning because it kind of explains what you're getting into when you read it, and they
Mhm.
seem like very nice people, so I would I'm plugging that podcast apparently.
It's a new thing we'll try here.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna move on.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. I have Wildstorm, the 30th anniversary special. It's 100 pages. It's a super spectacular. I didn't read this.
Okay.
But it's, with every oversized DC book, it's just a bunch of short stories. And this one's obviously just all about Wildstorm. It has a lot of really cool artists that I really, really like in it. Matthew Rosenberg does do a little grifter story, which I probably will read that before because I love the way he writes grifter.
Mhm.
Yeah, he writes a few of them in here actually. Warren
Mhm.
Ellis does one.
Mm. Mm.
There's tons of people. I didn't even look at who had written these beforehand, so
I
that's
mean,
cool. Anyway,
weird, but fine.
yeah, no, there's a couple people that I have no idea who they are, but the art, like after just flipping through it, the art all looks really cool. So I don't know if you're a fan of this sort of thing, then you should check it out. Okay, and then I have DC's Grifter got run over by a reindeer. This is just the DC Christmas special. It's another one of those that has tons of short stories and stuff in it. That's all. I only read the
That's
Grifter.
all.
That's all. I've only read the Grifter one at the moment. But I mean, it's just like with every DC special that's like this. There's no order that you need to read them in. So
Mhm.
that's all.
Okay, so it's my turn, I guess.
Yes.
I have Damn Them All. This is issue number 2. This is a story about should have written these people's names down. Uh, a woman whose uncle dies. His name is Alfie. I do remember that much.
Yeah.
He is like I don't know, a warlock, I guess, does magic. His friends with benefits comes to his funeral. Him and his niece, sorry, his niece and the friends with benefits kind of team up because just kind of by accident, because stuff kind of goes like haywire at the funeral. They find out like devils or like demons or entities are being entrapped kind of willy-nilly. And this issue is like the friends with benefits trying to like convince the niece that Alfie was like murdered, like his death wasn't like natural.
Okay. Are you still enjoying it? Because I know you said you liked the first one quite a bit.
No, I like it a lot. If there's just like a lot happening, like
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of words. I really like the art. Uh it's just, yeah, each page has a lot of text. I don't know if you can,
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a lot.
and that's, like that's a regular page, but yeah, just
Mm-hmm.
every page is quite a bit.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit of focus. This is another one I like started the other day and had to go back and restart from the beginning because it's just like, oh my god, there is a lot happening,
Right.
but
Okay.
enjoyable. So
Seems like it's right up your alley too.
hmm hmm feels very like British.
Okay. I was going to pick that up, the first one, but I have been so bothered by the way that the hair was drawn on the character on the first cover.
Okay, yeah,
I
because it
can't,
looks like a 1999 like mullet.
yeah, I don't know why. Like, I was annoyed enough, I guess, that I was like, I'm not going to get that book because
It
I
looks
did
like
not
your
like the
goth
way it looked.
friend from high school.
What?
It looks like your goth friend from high school.
A little bit, yeah. I did not like it.
It's like it was very much like a
Well,
I
and
can't.
like there was like it looked like a ponytail in the back, but it was like stick. I don't know. There was something just weird about it. I didn't like it. Yeah. Yes. Don't. Anyway, that's my whole reasoning for not picking up that book.
That's your 13th reason why.
Yes. Ugh. Are you ready?
Mhm.
Okay.
This
This
is
is
a
the
detective. Oh, go ahead. You go first. You go.
I was just gonna say that exact same thing. This is the 2022 annual for Detective Comics. That's it. You can talk more about it than I can because I'm an idiot.
No, this is just basically like a little backstory about like Gail. I don't know how to say that properly. And his connection and like the bigger connection of like the orgams in Gotham and like the connections throughout time and especially that those connections like with Batman. Uh I don't know. I really like this issue. I thought it was going to be more about werewolves.
I
Was
okay, so it says
disappointed by the lack of werewolves in this
yeah,
issue.
I okay. I read like half of it. Again, I'm an idiot, but there's one right here, and that was all I saw while I was reading it, and so I was like, is that it? And that's why I was like, I only read the first story because I assumed that there was more to it, but I like the little origin, I guess, of Gotham and how Gotham came to become what it is now.
Yeah. No, I really like, and I think this is a really good issue too to like pick up on if you're just like kind of curious about what's going on. And you can easily like go back and get it all. But I don't know. It doesn't feel like a Batman story, I guess, is like what I've liked about this detective. Like run so far is just it feels like a Batman story, but it doesn't.
It feels like a goth Batman.
Yeah, like a better goth Batman than
Yeah, yeah,
the Batman.
the Batman. Yeah, I agree. You know. Okay. I
Oh, I
have.
read this too.
Oh, okay. I have Lovesick. This is issue number 2. This just goes a little more into the what Red Room is, what the dominatrix is, how she's existing, I guess, in this world. I don't. There's something like I understand completely why people would not like this book. Like I get it. I open it and I'm like, okay, this it's a lot. But there's something that I enjoy about it and I don't know what it is. Maybe I just like watching men get murdered.
Yeah, I think I would enjoy it more. Like I've just been reading it.
Yeah.
Um, because I just read this issue. I didn't like grab it. But I think I'd enjoy it more if it like was actually saying something like
Right.
worthwhile, all because it's not like really doing anything.
Right. Like what's the point? Like
Yeah, it's like it's doing stuff for the sake of doing things, it feels like. And I really like, I like the author's note in this because she does talk about like going into, or they talk about like going into like true crime stories and like really delving deep. But at the same time, it just feels, I'm trying to find the right word, but it feels like
just
eh.
yeah, like shocking for the sake of being shocking. Like
Yeah, yeah.
no actual substance to it. It reminds me a lot of like um dudes in the book community who write splatterpunk books and then get praised for like how well written they are.
Hmm.
No, that's not good. It's disgusting.
Or just like obscenely like gory horror films that are like gory for like, you're just like, well, like, but why?
Right. Like what is the point of this? Right. And again, like I get it. There is something about this book that I do really enjoy, and it could very well just be the art. Like the art in this book is so
Hmm.
good, and the colors too. Like
No, the art is fantastic.
yeah, it's so good. And maybe that's what it is about it where I'm like, I don't know, the characters are believable enough because of the art where I'm just like, okay, this is cool. I enjoy this. But I get what you're saying though, where there is no like plot. There's nothing like really happening. I did also read the author's note and I really like that as well. My one like real complaint in this book, and I don't know why it irked me so bad. I just hate when this happens in books, is where she's in the bath talking about how she has those like fantasies about herself getting murdered. And then she names exactly what the condition is and says, is that right? Like, yeah, you know, that's what it's called. Like, what? I don't know why that bothered me so bad when that panel happened, but
I mean, that could just be like a translation thing, maybe.
right. And that's also part of why I'm just like, I feel like a dick for complaining about something like that. But it was addressed in the author's note. And so I don't know. It's just me being complainy, is all. That's all. That's all I have on it.
Okay. All right. Wait, it's orcs, right? It's
Yeah.
orcs.
Yeah. I
It's
have
time
main
for
orcs.
orcs. Orcs.
This is orcs. This is the curse. This is the last issue of this chapter. It
Yeah,
seems like there's going to be another one.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too. It's like I said, the way that this one ended had me like, it was very good.
I love this series. It's hard to explain why, because it does like a great job of like just an adventure story. It's really like, since it's aimed towards kids, it's really easy to read, but it
Yeah,
still like holds a lot of depth and like does what like fantasy stories or adventure stories are like supposed to do. And I don't know, I like all these characters a lot.
yeah, I was gonna say it's like Wind in the sense that it's character driven too, considering like the target age that reads
Hmm.
it. I absolutely love like all the characters. They do such a good job. Even like the new ones that they brought in this one, like these
Hmm.
4 issues, like
Like the
I love
crows
them.
and the elves.
Yeah.
Like, and then they built like the story's been built around this lore anyway, but like they did a really good job in like this is only 8 issues, but like digging into that lore and like the
Mhm.
stories that they've built already. And it's just like, well, that's just good storytelling.
Yeah. It's very good. I enjoy it quite a bit. And I'm kind of surprised. Well, I shouldn't be surprised. I like a lot of books that are like this, but I was not expecting to like this one as much as I did. Like each
I,
issue has been so full of just joy.
yeah, I think it's because it's called orcs. Like it's
Yeah.
ORK or ORCS with an exclamation point, and it's like it's literally we're not its target audience.
Right.
We're
And I
adults.
do the main characters, like the main orcs that you first meet, there's nothing really like likable about them.
Hmm.
Like they're rude, they're gross, they're orcs, you know?
I think
But
that's
then
what I love about them is because they are like very gross and disgusting and they fart and do dumb shit, you know?
they're just dumb, yeah. But then like the more that you're with them, the more you kind of like not only sympathize with them, but like you just fall in love with them a little bit.
Hmm.
It's
Well,
again,
because
it's good storytelling.
yeah, because they have more depth than just like that.
Hmm. They
Like
all
they're
care about each other, and it's very clear that they do.
mhm.
And now I care for them.
Yeah, this book's been great.
It's so good. That last panel though is what got me. Like when they're all just like sitting there, and then you see the chief like that.
Oh
I don't.
yeah.
That's what got me was like,
I think like the thing that like I really liked about this issue was when they were going through the trials and the one kid was like having that interaction with his dad and just like being so angry and that was something I could personally relate to really well. It was just like, well, damn, dude, like yeah, like I know that feeling. Like I
mm-hmm,
know that like want to like confront this person, even though in my case this person isn't like dead. But like I don't know, I haven't seen them since I was like 8. Not even
right,
8, like 5. So basically dead.
yeah.
Dead to me.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
I did like the trials that they went through because you got to go through it with them.
Hmm.
It's just a good story.
Yeah, that was solid, solid. Like I am excited for what I hope is more.
Hmm. Oh God,
Okay, wait. Do you have
Briar,
yeah,
Briar,
right, Briar. Okay. I
Briar.
couldn't remember if you had like another one.
No, that was all.
Okay.
Now we have Briar. This is issue number 2. This is
Uh go ahead. Go ahead.
just a little retelling of Briar Rose. What is her story? Sleeping Beauty. There we go. It's like, who is she?
Who is this?
But it's like a dark fairy tale. In the first issue, she was awoken from her curse, like however many years later, like way after she was meant to. She teams up with, I don't know what to I don't know what she is technically, like what she is
I think she
considered.
goes by Spider
Okay. I couldn't remember. I know she keeps saying she's from the north, so
and
our
she's
little,
like Noorish.
yeah. Okay. So yeah, she meets up with this protector, essentially keeps her safe and stuff. And they end up in Briar Rose's familial swamp. I don't know
Yeah.
what else to call it. Yeah.
The swamp that her like godmother perished in.
Yeah.
Or
It's
like that it was her
scary.
original home, yeah. Her fairy godmother's home.
Yeah. And of course she is being hunted by someone who discovered that she is awake. So
Yeah, I really like this book. I mean, the art is insanely good. Like
mm-hmm.
the art is one of my favorite reasons to read this book or look at this book.
It's
Uh
one of my favorite things about the art in particular is like in the first issue when she first wakes up, she looks like gaunt and like she's dying
Mhm.
and stuff like that. Like she does not look well. And in this one, there's still instances where like it shows her and she still looks like sick, but then there's
Yes.
others where it's like right on her and she just looks healthy and like she's doing good and stuff. And I like the way that that happens. I thought that was really cool.
I really like the way the like story is unfolding and how you're figuring out like what's happening.
Hmm.
Yeah, a dark fairy tale like is the best way to describe this for sure.
Hmm. I really enjoy it too. Do we know how many issues it's supposed to be? 5?
Five,
That
4, 5.
sounds right.
Yeah, 5 feels right. I don't
Okay.
know. It's enjoyable. I don't want it to end really.
I know. I love this kind of stuff. I would love it if they, oh Jesus. Um if they did like other fairy tales like that too. Like
Mhm,
that would be
mhm.
super cool.
Agreed. Uh, I know we have one more.
Hmm.
Did you read Plush?
I was going to on Saturday when I go in.
Okay. I did read Plush. I feel like I should just like mention that real fast because it's like
Mhm.
a Doug Wagner book and I can't remember the artist right now, which feels
They did
bad.
vinyl, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's about like cannibal furries.
Love it.
I didn't add it to my poll because I was not turned on by the premise.
That makes sense. I didn't add it for that reason.
I did enjoy the book as a whole though. Like it was like it's just exactly like one of their books. It's just like really silly and fun. And
Hmm.
the art and colors were good. So I felt like it's worth mentioning. It was like a fun little book. I'll probably once again just read the second issue
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna
as it
check that
comes
out
in.
when I go into work next. So I'll let you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Last,
Last.
Stillwater. This is issue 16.
Yeah.
16. This is actually just giving us the backstory of like Stillwater and like what's happening, how it happened.
Yeah, like how Stillwater came to exist. And it's honestly not at all what I thought it was. Like
No.
it makes sense. Like once I was told, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. But for some reason, that's not what I was expecting from it. I still like it nonetheless. Like we just talked about, like I love this issue. I thought it was so good.
Yeah, no, this issue was like as we talked about before we started recording, one of my favorite issues like of the whole series. I know that there's a couple more issues left, but like there was something about like the way the flow of this like issue went that was just like so perfect and so well done. And I am just like, I don't know. I want to know what happens at the end. Like,
Hmm. The narration of it too, like how she's explaining how everything came to pass, I
mhm.
thought was really good. Like it's very it makes me feel feelings, like seeing what happens to her family and all that kind of stuff. Like it's again solid storytelling.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been like wishy-washy on this one for sure. And I feel like once again, I feel like this is a book better read like in trade as
Hmm.
like wholes because like the waiting between has just been like a lot.
Hmm.
And it
Well, because I
makes
think
like
like the especially with this last, is it the last story arc? With the last story arc, we've been giving a lot of information that in my personal opinion should have probably been given sooner. Like events that happened should have happened
just
like
kind of like pointed within the issues. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Like
because I
even this one.
mhm. Because like the first one, I loved the first story arc. I thought it was incredible. The second one, I still loved it as well. But I feel like this last one, with everything that's going on, it's a lot for like this end of the story.
Hmm.
But I that doesn't take away from how much I like it at all. It's just again, as my personal opinion as a reader, I would have liked to have it a little more like not spread out necessarily, but you know what I'm trying to say. I don't know
Yeah.
how to word it, but I wanted it all together.
I would say like just integrated earlier
Yeah.
into the story where it's just like you were hinting at a lot of stuff. It could have been like easily just like you could have like I guess put more clues to this sort of thing.
You're right. Well, and who knows like how original, like how long the story was supposed to be originally. And like I do always try to take that into account too, because with stories like this, especially, you just never know how much you're going to get. Like as the writer, you never know like what you're going to get and if all of it's going to be able to be included. So I get it. And it's just sometimes I'm a baby and I need things done my way.
All right, that's all I have though. Do you have anything else?
No, that's all I've got.
Okay, well, you've come to talk comics to me. Thank you.
Welcome and goodbye.
Welcome and goodbye. You should go to your local comic book shops and buy some fucking comics.
Mm-hmm.
Support your local libraries, go to those, get a library card, ask for books.
There's I've read about this before, but I didn't know how like well it worked. But there are online libraries as well that you can check out from, which I'm sure you already knew that, but I didn't know that that was like a thing that was actually something you could do. Like I knew you could get like library cards and stuff online, but there are actually libraries that you can check out books from.
So
So
yeah, do what you can, read some stuff.
mm-hmm,
Support your authors, support artists, support whoever you can,
mm-hmm.
especially your friends, take care of each other. Uh anything else, Heather?
Yes, I said this last week, but I'm going to say it again until the year is done. We are coming into the holiday season. Please be nice to people in stores that are doing your work for you. People in retail, restaurants, servers, waiters, any of that kind of stuff. Just please be nice. Please be patient. It's hard for everyone right now, especially hard for them when they have to deal with that many people.
There's no lies there.
That's all I'm going to say.
Uh, so thank you for listening, and we'll see you on the flippity flip. Heather, are you ready for this?
Throw it.
Wait.
I mean, I need to get one of those as well so that we can actually do it where I pick it up from my side and it looks like you actually threw it over here.
Yeah, and we'll do it someday.
Yeah.